What a way to start.
Hello. Welcome back to Lombardi Sweep, Green Bay Packers podcast brought to you by Flurry Sports. I'm Zach Bruner, Trevor Lane to the right. Down below is Janet Wilson. And in the dark, vibing out, is Luke Reimer, trying to calm down from Sunday, trying to make
Zen.
sense, trying to achieve enlightenment to figure out what the fuck is wrong with the Packers. I think Luke is going to figure it out by the end of the show, though.
Yeah, I
Don't
think.
you?
Yeah, I just need to get some Pink Floyd going, and I'll be able to figure it all out.
Yeah, for sure. That's all we need. If you guys know, if you're watching this back and know what is wrong with the Packers, leave a comment. Let us know what you think is wrong with the Packers. Chances are you're probably an owner of the Packers, so you think you're entitled to your opinion and stuff. So let us know what that is. But until then, we're just going to break down the game. I didn't get to watch it live, and that made the experience better for me.
Yeah,
What was that, Luke?
chances are you're right too about what's wrong with the Packers because there's a lot wrong with the Packers. Zach,
There's a lot
I'm
of
happy
options.
I'm happy that you didn't get up, or I don't know what you were doing, but you didn't watch that game because that sucked being up at 8:30 watching that bullshit.
I was up. I was just in the middle of nowhere and didn't have access to the game.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in the vibe of your room, but without TV. You know, it was in the middle of bumfuck Wisconsin.
Not a great place to be.
No. If anyone remembers Jamie Kloss, I was near where she was found. If that makes you feel cool. But it wasn't me. But
What an important disclaimer.
I just want to make that known.
Okay.
I got to watch the internet explode. I got to watch you guys vent a little bit and then just kind of absorb what everyone else thought was wrong with the Packers. And I got to watch it for myself. And, you know, it was interesting. Like, because everyone had their own opinions about what went wrong. And I got to see everything people said. Like, everything went wrong, which is really cool. For you three who watched it in real time, I guess, what's your thoughts, I guess, now? You can talk about your thoughts during the game as well if you want, but like Trevor, you can start. Like overall, like, do you take anything away from a game in London that ended up being lost? Do you think there's anything to take away from it, negative or positive?
I think there's a lot to take away from it. I thought going into the game there wouldn't be anything. Full disclosure, I woke up at 11 because I wanted to watch it back when I wasn't crabby and with a lack of sleep. I watched 2 possessions of the third quarter, their first 2 possessions, and I knew it was going to happen. Every week, and my takeaway is every week, LaFleur talks about got to give it to the running backs, best 11 on the field, best 11 on the field. They don't go to him. They just don't. His script is they score early and then they just go away from him. And I'm just sick and tired of hearing we're going to go to Jones, we're going to go to Dillon, and they're not doing it. I mean, the game script was in their favor. They had a lead. There's really no excuse, even if you're trailing. And they just pull this shit every time. Got to get more involved. Eventually, when are you actually going to do it? Because it's week 5 now, week 6. Like, you should have this figured out by now.
And Trevor, just to add to your point there, in the 3 wins the Packers have this year, Jones and Dillon have combined 20 or more touches. 2 losses, it's under 20. So right there is a pretty big indicator of how you win games and how you lose games with this Packers offense right now.
That's fair. I don't think. I mean, the Giants were taking away, even though Aaron Jones played well. Like the Giants were still showing a lot of guys to take away the run. I think late in the game, like I don't necessarily fault the Packers from not running it as much late in the game, just because. Other than the 3rd and 1, like you need to run it at least one time there. But, like I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but I will keep beating Royce Newman. Like I think, legitimately, without even a sense of a joke, I think he is the sole reason why the Packers stopped running the football. I think he is the sole reason why they didn't run the football on that 4th and 1. Like. If you watch him the entire game, he kept getting absolutely destroyed. In the 3rd quarter, the sack that he gave up in a one-on-one block was the reason they couldn't kick a field goal. There was He never gets vertical movement anyways, but he kept giving up ground the entire game. He looks completely outmatched. He looks completely lost. There's no reason why he should be on the football field. It's not even me being negative anymore. And to the point where other people who shall not be named, who consider themselves Packer reporters, like they even noticed Royce Newman's not a good football player now. So, yeah, it's just if there was better offensive line play, I think everything would have changed. I think the Packers didn't have the ball very much in the second half, which is a big problem. They had 1 third quarter drive, I believe. They had the third quarter drive, got a sack, so they couldn't kick the field goal, and then I believe they got the ball back with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So that's an issue. The offense didn't play that bad. I think there was obvious mistakes, and I'll break down that final 4th and 1 play. Because of my internet right now, I don't think I can bring up the picture, but I'll break that down a little bit. Everyone's destroying Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think you should be destroying him.
Not at
Like,
all.
there's some obvious things you can look at there. But Janet, obviously, there's no good vibes to come out of it. But what are your overall takeaways from the game?
Okay, first of all, it was at 8:30 a.m. And of course, every teacher wants to wake up so early on Sunday morning to watch the football game. So when it was over, I thought it was like 5 p.m. The game was like forever.
It did feel like
And
that, Janet.
right? Like
Yeah.
I went outside and I was so pissed off. And then I was like, oh shit, it's barely 11 a.m. and I'm already mad and I'm already upset. And I was gonna praise defense for these past 2 games against Bears and against Patriots, but I haven't been able to be here. I was gonna praise them, and then this game happened, and I was like, just kidding. No, we're not gonna do that just because they let me down. I saw Matt LaFleur's presser and I saw Aaron Rodgers' presser. They were so depressing. And like Trevor said, so Matt LaFleur said that they need to find consistency. Okay, like we're already almost halfway through the season. Y'all should have found that already. It's kind of getting late and we're all waiting for that consistency because we haven't seen it whatsoever. It was a disappointment. I mean, I felt like I knew there was one game that we were going to fumble the bag with, and I predicted either Giants or Jets because I knew it was going to be around the London game. I am hoping that they get their shit together by this Jets game because saying that we lost to the Giants is enough for me. It's enough. I don't want to say that we lost to the Jets as well. We have the same record as the Jets, just to FYI.
And a worse record than the Giants now.
Oh my gosh.
To your point about consistency, like for anyone who's like new to listening to the show, like don't think we're jumping on the Packers now because they lost. Like we're not like, oh, now something's wrong. If you want to listen back to multiple years ago, we've been pretty consistent with most things. And I've been saying Matt LaFleur's not a good play caller since he was with the Titans. You know what I mean? Like, so that it continues to be true. He continues to get lost in the sauce, which isn't good because Sauce Gardner's coming up this week, and I think that could be a nightmare. But I think one of the biggest issues with the Aaron Jones thing is I do believe he feels an obligation and it's probably a top-down direction that he needs to make sure both running backs are happy and both running backs need to get snaps. And it's just so clear how exponentially better Aaron Jones is at everything than AJ Dillon. It's way better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the game for most of that final drive, but that 4th and 1, I think he's on the field for the 3rd and 1, but on the 4th and 1, like there was a gap there where I believe if Aaron Jones was there, I think he could have hit the hole hard enough and Rodgers would have gave it to him. And it probably would have been fine. But with AJ Dillon there, I don't think he's fast enough. I don't think he's decisive enough. And I think he's too big of a body to do that play with when you have to cross Royce Newman's path. And he's been getting beat the entire time. So, like, just that personnel switch, I think Aaron Rodgers possibly makes a different decision on the play that's called. Like they would have ran the same play, just done a different decision. I think it would have been a completely different result of the game. So, like, I think we need to suck it up. Just fucking use Aaron Jones,
Yes.
right? Like, we can't
Please.
save him for the playoffs if we're going to just miss the playoffs, which, like, what's the chances the Packers miss the playoffs? Is probably pretty slim, but you know,
Zach,
it's
to go
not
out,
unlikely.
the two losses that they have are two playoff teams. That's going to play a factor in
Right.
tiebreakers at the end of the year.
Well, and on top of that, with the offense, I've seen a lot of people say, well, coming into this game, there were 6 in yards. Yeah, they're 22nd in points scored for. Last time I checked, the final score isn't just determined on total yards, so we should probably get that fixed because we are currently below a lot of very bad teams in scoring offense.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have the numbers ahead of me. I can only assume the numbers from first half to second half drop pretty heavily. And again, this isn't new, and it's not like we're the only one to point this out. I'm not trying to say we found something magical here, but the Packers completely, going back to the Mike McCarthy days, abandoned what is going correct, like in the first half. They get to the second half, they stop running the ball, they stop doing specific things. And by the way, I'm not saying it's all coaching staff. I think Aaron Rodgers is partially to blame as well. But like that's something that clearly needs to be fixed on a team whose identity is running the ball. It's not a passing team.
So Matt LaFleur, they actually brought that up during the presser, and he got very defensive, and he snapped, and he snapped at them, and it's like we all saw it though. Like we all saw it, and he was just like, well, when you're coaching, like he got really upset about it. And guys, y'all know that I think the Packers, like, the sun shines out of their ass, but this game was just so bad.
I got the stats. In the first half, the Packers are 11th in points scored. In the second half, they are tied for 29th. And I think it's important to note that one of the teams they're tied with is the Eagles, who are scoring 21 points in the first half and have played nobody, so they're pretty much game managing by that point, but point still stands. 29th is just unacceptable.
And it's not like the Eagles very clearly are coasting at the end of games, and the Packers are in one-score games. So
the Eagles are coasting. The Packers are trying to survive.
Yeah,
treading water,
going to overtime against Bailey Zappi, trying to fend off Daniel Jones, who is a competent quarterback. Congratulations. Imagine that. But like Saquon Barkley lines up at quarterback. What's going to happen? What are the Giants going to do? This is a secret. Oh no. Is he going to bob it to no-name wide receiver? No, they're running the football.
That'd be
let's
funny,
stop
though.
lining up 20 yards off the ball, please.
Like, imagine if Saquon's just like taking a snap. He's like, "Yeah, Richie James, just run a go. I got you."
That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Make them do it though.
Right.
If Eric Stokes is going to run behind every defender anyways, might as well chase Richie James after the fact. Who cares? Let's talk about that. Well, let's do this really quick. Packers rookies are terrible. Like, other than Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs is good. But, like, obviously Devontae Wyatt, I don't think, played in this game. He continues to be a non-factor. Quay Walker's fine. He's a good project. He shouldn't be a starter. Christian Watson's a decoy.
Yep.
And a gimmick. Christian Watson is what they hoped Amari Rodgers would be last season, and he wasn't. And Christian Watson isn't.
Watson.
Why are we running jet sweeps with a vertical wide receiver?
Christian Watson is just Tyler Ervin.
If you can only get a second round pick like that you traded up for involved on jet sweeps and touch passes, that's pretty sad.
Well, and I don't think he's very good, but he's a greater threat running a go route every single play than he is running around in the backfield for no reason or returning kicks, which is not going to work either. It doesn't make sense what they're doing. That's their way of getting a player involved in the offense that doesn't have a role, is they do that. And that doesn't make sense.
Well, tell me how Amari Rodgers is only responsible for catching kicks and somehow he got booted off of that.
Yeah, I know. He's so good. It's incredible. Randall Cobb,
well, Raiders
2.0.
want him, though. Raiders want him.
Yeah, apparently Raiders want him for Devontae. Do it. I dare you. Take Amari Rodgers. Like, Amari Rodgers is legitimately cuttable. He doesn't benefit anybody.
At least Jason Spriggs would play.
I'd truly rather have somebody call a fair catch and run out of the play than Amari Rodgers back there catching.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I mean, let's sign Tremont Williams back to do that, to catch fair catches. He can do it.
Yo, bring back Will Blackman, Desmond Howard. He's still got some legs.
Yeah, Tari Bigby, let him do it.
Love Atari Bigby.
Me too. I don't know if he can return kicks, but
No.
I'd like to see him try. He'll just tackle the ball in the air.
That hasn't stopped us from putting guys back there before, Zach.
You're correct. Put Jordan Love back there. Make him earn his keep. Okay, so that final play, by the way. So we get down, obviously, late fourth quarter. We need a score. We're down 7, I do believe. We get a nice gain on second down. I believe it was a run. It might have been an Allen Lazard catch. I can't remember. But it's 3rd and 1. They run a play. It's a tip to the left side of the line of scrimmage. That is, it's John Runyon's fault on that play. Like the guy comes off the ball so hard, and it needs to be a super quick slant. It was a double slant, I do believe. So like Runyon needs to cut the guy. Like there's no other way to do it, especially when we can't pass protect anyways. You need to cut them so they don't have their hands up. So that's that. But then we go to 4th and 1. It's a RPO play that they're running is what it looks like. So our run pass option for people who don't know. Again, it was, I believe, a double slant on the left side. The Giants overloaded the right side with the tight end. They had 2 free blitzers off that side. Rodgers knows they're blitzing. There's no possible way he doesn't know. I think on the left side, they were showing a blitz, and I think there's a question mark about them possibly dropping back. But the 2 on the right side, he knows are coming because that corner was shaded to the inside on Allen Lazard. So, and again, A.J. Dillon's in the game. He would have to cross Royce Newman's path to run to the left there. I think there's a chance he gets stopped, and that's why he doesn't run the football. To the left, he has a double slant, and if he turned that direction first, Romeo Doubs could have got a first down and probably walked into the end zone, right? Mm-hmm. But since it's an RPO, it needs to go really quick because he has to pick a side of the field to throw it. Otherwise, Myers gets called for illegal man downfield. Like it was already close. So he has to pick a side of the field, and he picked the side where he knows he guarantees has a person. He guarantees has Allen Lazard with the outside leverage there. He knows what he's going to do. The left side, you don't know if those guys are going to drop back. The run play, you don't know if Royce Newman's going to get beat, and blah, 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 blah. It's A.J. Dillon. So he picks the one side he has. 2 guys come free. They swat it down. It is what it is. Rodgers couldn't have dropped straight back to look at both sides of the field, and I think a lot of people are saying that, like, why didn't you throw it to Dobbs? Why didn't you look to the left side? Why did he throw to the blitzing side, which is exactly what you're supposed to do anyway? Like, that is why that happened. I wish I could, like, bring it up and actually, like, draw it out for you guys, just because I think seeing it would be a little bit easier. I'm just trying to describe it. But if you go back and watch that final play again, 4th and 1 in the Giants-Packers game, like, that's why that happened. And by the way, I can only assume that would have been a perfect pass to Allen Lazard, who was open. Like, he was open in the end zone. So if it wasn't swatted, it probably would have been a touchdown, right? So, like, I wouldn't crucify Aaron Rodgers for that. He made plenty of other mistakes during the game that you can call him out for. He certainly hasn't been perfect this season. But that play certainly isn't something to be criticized about. And truly, that play, I believe, again, is screwed up by one player, and that player's name is Royce Newman. Like, if you just have a standstill, a stalemate at the line of scrimmage, you win that play and you can get a first down. Royce Newman didn't have a stalemate all game. He goes backwards on every play. Aaron Rodgers is in shotgun so he doesn't get Ben Curtin gets stepped on. Like, that's what we're looking at with Royce Newman right now. So legitimately, we could see Zach Tom there hopefully pretty soon. But, like, that's a move the Packers need to make before the trade deadline, whether it's signing somebody, trading for somebody, or making an internal move. If Royce Newman stays at right guard, like, the Packers are going to make the playoffs. Let's be honest. but they have no shot to go anywhere with like the defensive lines that they're going to see in the NFC.
Well, and the thing about that pass play too is like you can say what you want about Aaron Rodgers because he has not been the most accurate. Like we're not going to sit here and say he's been in his MVP form. But to your point, if there is one thing that we know he can do 100% of the time accurately, it's those pre-play reads. And to your point, if it's an RPO, you need to know what side to go to. So once he knows he's going right, he's already screwed. There's nothing else he can do. So I mean, if it's swatted, like what would you rather have him take a sack and get annihilated trying to throw left, or get a flag downfield? Now it's 4th and 7. Like either way, he was screwed right once that play started.
Again, so to play devil's advocate, if we do what a lot of people said on Twitter, essentially, why didn't you throw it to the left where there wasn't the blitzers there? So then if he doesn't do anything to the right, he turns to the left. He obviously has the 2 free blitzers coming at his back. He's throwing to the side that just got a tip where John Runyon didn't get the guy's hands down, so it was just tipped. And those 2 blitzers could possibly drop back into coverage where the slant window is. And if they do that, he has one option on that play there, basically. So that's covered, and he has to throw that. Because, again, then you can't hand it off. You have to throw that immediately because Josh Myers is faking the run inside. He's the only one who gets vertical movement. He's blocking his guy to the end zone, pretending it's a run play. So that needs to be out like in 1 second, 1-step throw. And if those guys drop, the whole play's fucked for sure. So he went to the side where there's a shot where they could possibly be good. You know, he knew he had a throw there at least. And that's why he did it.
Yeah.
Mike Russo. By the way, if anyone watching wants to jump in, let us know. Just write your stuff in the chat. If we're not confident in the run game at the time, why not just run a regular pass play then? Give those receivers the time they need. And that's fully fair too. 100%. Like that's what I would do. I hate plays where you're cutting yourself off one way or another. Like even just the rollouts to the right or to the left where you take away half the field. I hate it.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. I think just a straight up run would have been fine too. But like when you have the option, like you have to make a decision immediately, otherwise it's a flake. So yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think they should have done that.
I would also counter Mike.
Stop running Mike McCarthy's plays, by the way, too.
Yeah.
We love to run slant flat this year, and it didn't work 5 years ago. That's why McCarthy got fired. Stop.
I would also say, Mike, why not run a regular pass play? Well, yes, I agree. I mean, our receivers just aren't very good. Aaron Rodgers is good enough to make him good, but at some point we need the receivers to do something.
I also don't know why, because I believe on the left side it was Romeo Doubs, then Randall Cobb. I think Cobb went to the corner, I believe.
Yep.
Cobb is the only one really creating separation.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
I was about to say, you know, the receivers are not that good when they're making Randall Cobb look like his old days.
2013 Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
True. But at least put Randall Cobb in space where he could possibly, you know, shake a defender and make a move if we're running a normal pass play. And by the way, Romeo Doubs, again, he was open. So whatever. But like, if you're running a normal pass play, I just don't want Randall Cobb to be the corner guy. He's not a big bodied guy. I understand he can adjust to the ball, but he is best in open space. As we saw through, I mean, technically probably 2.5 quarters or something. But yeah. What's your take? Mike wants to know what's our take on why we strayed away from the run in the second quarter. Again, second quarter, I think they're just trying to get the people involved. Royce Newman kept blowing up the play for the Packers. He kept doing self-sabotage. But LaFleur wants to get both running backs involved, and that's not a reason for getting away from the run, but one of them's not being super effective in A.J. Dillon, and the other is not getting into a rhythm because he's getting taken out for A.J. Dillon. And I think that's an issue. But also, the Giants were just showing a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage, and to be completely honest, like, Wink Martindale won this game. Like, we don't need to, like, kiss the feet of Wink Martindale. He is the defensive coordinator, madman for the Giants. He is really good. He beat Aaron Rodgers, and he beats Aaron Rodgers by giving him, like, just obvious things, like the inside corner shade on Allen Lazard where he has to throw to the right, but then the two blitzers come through and are looking for the swat because they know he has to throw there. Like he's doing those things. He's giving Rodgers these options where there are rules where he has to go to a specific spot, and he wins that way. He's willing to sacrifice the wide open player for mass chaos, and the Giants create chaos on defense.
Love it.
And that screwed up the Packers' offensive line enough, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
I'd also, while we're on the offense, a little different kind of segue, but I'd like to give your guys' take. It seems like in the second half, the last, 2, 3, 4 games, there is just a drive where they just love going deep, love going fade routes down the middle of the sidelines. I don't know about you guys, but that's incredibly problematic to me. I don't mind taking shots. You have Aaron Rodgers. He's the best, most talented in the game. Right now, he's not hitting those routes. And when he is, the receivers aren't getting open. And you are not going to your running backs for a full 3 plays. If you are giving an easy and 3 outs, not only is your bad defense getting on the field, your bad defense is getting on the field tired. Aaron Jones getting out of rhythm. And that's just bad offensive play calling. Like, that is Mike McCarthy shit when they go deep on 4th and 3rd and 1. And it just needs to stop. Like, do something else if it's not working. And they do it time and time again.
I don't have a problem with taking the shots. To your point, I think they do it multiple times in a row, which is a little bit weird. Like Aaron Rodgers comes from the Mike McCarthy thought, which is one of the only things I ever agree with Mike McCarthy about. Like sometimes you just need to take a shot, whether you hit the pass or not. Like at least a defensive coordinator has to respect it at that point. The issue now becomes with the Packers is that do you have to respect it?
No.
Because I think Aaron Rodgers is throwing balls for wide receivers who are deep threats. And a lot of these wide receivers are slowing up and not running through the route. Like Alan Lazard's the best deep threat they have, and he's a blocking physical wide receiver. He's not a deep threat. And you know who is? Jet
MVS.
sweep coordinator. Well, yeah. But jet sweep extraordinaire Christian Watson's a deep threat, but he is too busy spinning around in the backfield. It doesn't really make much sense. And this is going to sound stupid, but I think it's actually true. I think the loss of I think they put so much stock in Sammy Watkins in this offense that his absence is actually throwing them for a loop, as sad as that might be.
100%. It's really odd to put all your stock in Sammy Watkins, right? And you're probably not going to find a bigger Sammy Watkins fan on the planet than me. But everyone knew that he was going to be out week 1. Everyone knew he wasn't going to play week 2, week 3, week 4, and then maybe the rest of the season he wasn't going to play. That just can't happen on a Super Bowl team. You can't not have a deep threat on a Super Bowl team. You can't put your entire wide receiver offseason stock into a guy who doesn't play more than 4 games a year. It's just bad managing. It's bad GM. It's just bad all around. And this team is not going to win a Super Bowl. They're not going to win a playoff game. It's just too many weird mistakes that happen that no other teams do. It's really weird.
To Mike's credit, we gave away a really good deep threat and an all-around wide receiver in Devontae Adams. One player, obviously, a lot of people, media people especially, like to hype this up is the Odell Beckham to Green Bay thing, which I think is never going to happen, which is fine. Like, I don't think he's the missing piece.
Nope.
Someone, at least, I believe I wrote an article about it a couple years ago now. Like, I understand Sammy Watkins doesn't play very many games, but if we get multiple players who don't play very many games, maybe we can piece something together. Will Fuller's still out there. He's a deep threat. Like, let's kick the tires.
Didn't we talk about him?
What he can do.
I was like, didn't we already talk about him?
I think for the past couple of years we have. No one signed him. I believe he was at Notre Dame with Matt LaFleur.
That sounds right.
Not that. I mean, does that matter? Probably not. Did
Will
Matt
Fuller
LaFleur
can't
recruit
pass a
him? I
drug
doubt it,
test.
but maybe. What was that?
It says Will Fuller can't pass a drug test.
Probably
Doesn't have to worry
not.
about that in Green Bay.
Who cares? We get him for the 2 weeks before he has to pass a drug test. We'll be fine.
They don't punish for marijuana anymore, so I think we're good. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if it's marijuana though. I'm not
Aaron
sure
Rodgers said he really liked OBJ, so I don't think they're gonna pick him up.
Exactly. Stop
Every
saying you
time
like people, Rodgers.
Yeah,
Start hating some players. It was a PD, you're right. But I mean, what was it? Who knows? Maybe the DeAndre Hopkins PED that didn't help him.
Remember when Ray Lewis was wearing you're using deer antler spray?
Yeah,
wild.
that's wild. They good for them.
Right.
Good for the scientist who figured it out. It did.
How do you start at oh yeah, deer antler spray. Like, where does this starting point begin?
Wow.
Probably
Have
right
learned
after
from
you
college.
murder somebody.
Right.
Probably
Try a
where
lot of
that
things.
starts.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has that friend from college who figures this kind of shit out. Like, you don't ask how they figure it
just
out.
happens.
Yeah, thanks,
Like-
thanks, bud.
And I'll tie this into the Packers. Like, Mark Murphy, how do you even get his job?
No, I don't know. And it's his for life,
Right.
You just appointed like a king with a sword
pretty much. Like he's the head of
or a knight.
basically the Knights of the Round Table there, the Packers board of directors or whatever, who are also appointed, and he's appointed by the appointed, and they have to vote someone out.
The appointed by the appointed.
Yeah, if only we had like one owner who can make a decision or something, that'd be cool.
Maybe they
Well, the
had
thing
like,
is, like,
a rock, a sword in the rock, and he had a sword in the stone, and he had to pull it out.
Yeah. He makes the Packers a lot of money though. He's a very good
Sure does.
businessman.
He is.
So that's all I care about.
The thing is, a lot of people are talking about like Rodgers can't take up this much cap and the team can't be this good. It's going to be incredible when people figure out how bad Jordan Love is, because like the Packers are in such a bad spot now. Like if Aaron Rodgers leaves after this year, and if that happens, we probably pay Jordan Love $20 million. It's not much improvement.
You know, we need to do this. The Panthers are so fucking desperate. Their owner is willing to pay anything and do anything to get a quarterback, and they keep getting screwed out of it. We need to trade Jordan Love to Carolina right now. Now is the
I'm
time
down.
where we legitimately could get something.
Okay.
Legitimately. They're going to start PJ Walker on Sunday. I love PJ, but this is not the AAF. This is not the XFL. Like, and he is Matt Rule's guy. Like, this is not going to work there. We could get something for Jordan Love. Let's get Terrace Marshall for Jordan Love.
Let's plan it out for Mark Murphy and all the people watching. All right, trade Jordan Love to them for Terrence Marshall in the pick, and then sign McRae from the USFL, and you're guaranteed a Super Bowl. I don't make the rules; I just point them out, and then start him over Royce Newman. Cannot tell me he'd be any worse. There's no way.
There's a lot of good guards out there. Let's give, man, I'd be willing to trade Aaron Rodgers for Zach Martin at this point. That's all I want. Give me Zach Martin on the team. Okay, the only other big notable thing I think from that game that we should talk about is David Bakhtiari didn't play very much. And it seemed to be mostly out of precaution. Like one, being cramped, essentially being a massive dude on a plane all the way to London isn't a good thing. That turf, they were for sure nervous about the turf. If you watched it, they had like those big seams in the middle of the field.
They talked about that.
Yeah, I think that it was just a precaution thing. He was limited in practice today. I don't think he had a setback. I don't think he's behind. I think he's good to go for Sunday. So, like, it's frustrating. Would his presence on the field for the majority of the snaps change the outcome of last game? Maybe. But I don't think Nishman was, again, he for sure wasn't the weak link on the offensive line anyway. So, you know, I wouldn't be nervous or angry with David Bakhtiari. Be angry at Royce Newman for anything. Just start blaming him, please.
Trust me, it's easy. Very easy.
Yeah, especially once you start watching him. Number 70 for the people who don't know. He's the one on his stomach usually. He is.
Or whenever there's a flag, it's him. Actually, not really, because he usually misses anyways. So.
Yeah, he doesn't hold. He just stands like this, and he doesn't get any movement on his guys. Agreed, Mike. Once you're stuck, like, yeah, getting cramped on like the plane, it's such a nightmare. Such a nightmare for that, especially when you're, what is he, like 6'7", 6'6"? He's massive. Okay. And don't you got to walk everywhere in London? Isn't it hard to drive around? So he's probably walking all the time over there too.
I guess it was like not a highway. That I don't know. My boss was telling me about it.
On that
It's,
cobblestone, not even regular sidewalk.
True.
Just
Tough to walk
parachute off
on.
the London Eye. That works.
Okay, so now week 7, we got the LaFleur Bowl. Aren't we excited? The Jets are coming to town. Zach Wilson is slinging the rock, hitting up Mills every other weekend. All the Green Bay moms flock to the game. Get there early. You might get Zach Wilson's number. That'll be cool. I don't even have the lineup. Let me talk about the injury report really quick, then I'll look and see what the betting line is. I'm going to guess Packers by like 7 or so. Bakhtiari Jenkins and Devontae Wyatt, great draft pick. We're all limited in practice today. Aaron Rodgers, Christian Watson, and Tipa Gallia. I hate that dude. Tipa G. I'm done pronouncing his name. Too many vowels in a row.
Tipa G. That's like Warren G's brother or something. I mean, he sounds like he should be laying down a 15-track album right now.
Yeah, I just saved his career. They all didn't practice today though. Christian Watson hamstring, Tipa G hamstring, Christian Watson hamstring. Amazing. Isn't that crazy? And then Aaron Rodgers hurt his thumb on that final Hail Mary attempt. He said on the McAfee show that he should be fine. But, you know, that's certainly something to watch. And if he is hurt, I'm fine with dropping a game against the Jets. I really don't care. Like, let's throw Jordan Love out there. Let's feature him. Again, this is a good defense to hopefully get a good performance out of Jordan Love when we can trade him to Carolina and, you know, we're good. But to Mike's point, if we lose, do we burn it down? Yes, because I love chaos. I want something to bitch about. I'm done being positive. I want to go crazy next week.
Well,
it'll be fun.
And not even that, Zach. Like, if they lose to the Jets doing the same thing, just give me something different. I don't want to watch
selling their stocks for 2.5 cents each.
I don't want to watch Aaron Jones get 3 carries on the first drive and then be out till the end of the second quarter. I don't want to watch Aaron Rodgers throw 3 bombs that aren't even close to anyone. Do something different.
Agreed. Yeah,
well, we kind of talked. Well, Luke, I know you and I kind of talked about that way back when Devontae Adams was first traded. If you're contending, you don't get rid of Adams, and if you're not, you blow the whole thing up. Go one way or another. Don't stand in the middle. That shit will kill franchises for decades. They're doing a good job of that before even doing that, but just give us something fresh to watch at least.
And just to add on to that, they just don't play first-round picks.
Well, that's just what I was going to say. If everyone keeps saying, including Gutekunst, and we're just taking him at his word, that we're going all in, we're doing this, we're drafting all these players, just take a look at how much the players we have drafted early have played over the past 2-3 years, and that'll tell you. Like, Christian Watson is a decoy gimmick guy, right? Devontae Wyatt isn't playing at all. Quay Walker's playing some because out of default because the next guy's Chris Barnes, and he's not playing very well. But even still, Josiah DeGuara has been bad. Amari Rodgers has been bad.
Jordan Love.
Jordan, that's a very good example. Jordan Love hasn't
should have started with that one.
You were right. Yeah, I kind of
remember we could have
I already traded him to the Panthers in my head.
Could have had like Michael Pittman or T. Higgins. Nope, we
had George Pickens instead of Christian Watson. We could have pancaked everybody in one.
At least we could have watched a wide receiver beat the piss out of D-backs every week. That's something new and refreshing. He's got swagger too.
That was an interesting fact that they said on Sunday. A Big Dog was the first rounder that A-Rod has thrown a touchdown to. That was wild.
Crazy. Did they say that stat wrong on TV?
I don't think so, because it's the same thing they say every time he catches a touchdown.
Yeah, but I think they said that this was the first round touchdown. When Mercedes loses 4 touchdowns before.
Maybe they did.
Yeah, maybe they did say that.
He's the only first rounder who Aaron Rodgers has thrown a touchdown to. Would be the correct way, I guess.
Mike, you're playing with fire, suggesting DK Metcalf with this panel of people here.
Honestly, I say why not? Why not?
Better quarterback.
Put him in as a quarterback.
DK Metcalf is bad at everything he does, though.
See, Mike?
Literally.
I just don't know if that's
run
true.
with the ball in his hand and just run everybody
really?
over.
I could have gotten the same place as him in the race he did. That was a big deal. I wouldn't have struck out in a celebrity softball game that he did.
Yeah, that
The
one's
dude
a bad
sucks.
one.
It's
I
bad.
feel like you could have struck out in the celebrity softball.
No.
Bullshit. No. Who is throwing him the ball? Pitbull or something? There's no way.
Like if that's Pitbull, I'm taking that bitch 350 to right field.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide,
You
I'm
cannot
blasting
hit
it
a
around the
softball
fucking
350. I don't
I
want
I could hit a Pitbull softball 350.
305 at least. Mr. 305, it's
Yeah.
going 305 for sure.
I just think
It's-
he's like a monster, but I mean, that's all. Like, I just think his size is, he's a freak.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah.
Probably a
Other than-
monster off the field. Just I've been watching a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer stuff. I could see DK Metcalf being one of them too. I don't want him. Don't want him. I don't trust the purple hair. If you got purple hair, you're not for me. Any
Yeah, I
other
don't-
color, that's weird. It doesn't make sense. Seahawks aren't purple. I don't
I
get it.
don't love the pacifier mouth guard.
Debo, love Debo. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, the
Okay, yeah,
pacifier.
The pacifier mouth guard kind of sucks.
The pacifier
Yeah.
does work though because he is a giant baby bitch.
Yeah.
So it does
All right.
add up.
All right.
But,
all
and
right,
also,
that's
I feel
fair.
like you have to give his hair credit. I feel like he's just giving homage to the best Gatorade flavor of all time, which is Riptide Rush.
Facts, Trevor.
Trevor.
Wait, which flavor?
Truest thing
It's
ever.
Riptide
grape.
Rush. It's the best
Oh,
flavor.
okay, that is a good one. That is a
Yep.
good one. Okay, I
The
didn't hear. I
purple
thought you were going to say
flavor?
grape. I was going to say not grape. That's
No,
disgusting.
Riptide
No.
Rush is the correct answer. Grape's
Yeah,
not disgusting.
you're
but
right.
It's good. But Riptide Rush.
That's one of the only flavors you pronounce by its actual name.
Yeah, because the other ones is like
Yeah.
the red flavor.
I don't know. I hear myself catching
True.
saying cool blue a lot.
For sure. Yeah,
Fair.
because there's
I'll
too
give
many
you that
blue
one.
ones. You got to say.
Right.
That is a good point. But nobody says, let me get that cucumber lime Gatorade over here.
Horrible
It's
Gatorade. by the
cucumber
way.
lime Gatorade.
it's horrible.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh, that's
don't
the one
know.
I just
think that's
bought
probably the
because I
first
haven't
question.
tasted it.
Horrible.
You
You're
put like
psychopath.
vodka in it. That's the only way I would drink that. That's a weird one to
It
drink.
need to be like
No, she
flavored
gives it
vodka.
to her
in there.
dogs.
Maybe.
I actually put my pre-workout in it. I put my pre-workout in Gatorade. In my
And
Gatorade.
just when I thought I
Is
couldn't
it
get worse, you
unflavored?
doubled it.
Or is it a flavored one?
What, my pre-workout?
Yeah.
It's flavored. So I mostly
What-
just taste the pre-workout.
What
Okay.
is it?
It's called Witch's Brew.
Ooh.
That doesn't answer the question of what flavor that is.
It's
I know what
spooky
it
season,
is.
folks. Shannon's getting spooky at the gym. I don't. This sounds horrible. What is it?
Janet's drinking like elixirs and potions and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I only put it because of the electrolytes into the Gatorade. It gives you a better pump.
Again, we are still waiting on the flavor.
Yeah. What is Witch's Brew?
You are
It's exactly
definitely
what you
going
think it,
dancing
what you
around
think it
this.
tastes like.
It kind of tastes like a caramel apple. That's what it
See.
tastes like.
That's
So
with
caramel
cucumber
apple
lime.
and
What are we
cucumber lime
doing?
Gator. You're a psychopath.
Pick water.
Next thing I know, you're gonna say you like dill pickle chips. Get out of here.
I like
What?
pickle chips.
That's a big thing
Man,
in Texas,
horrible.
though, and we
I
add
love
lime
pickle
to
chips.
it.
Anything that is a big deal in Texas minus barbecue is usually a bad thing.
Mm,
I like the Spurs.
No, bad take.
But
No?
They are not even a
Bad
big deal
take.
in Texas.
That's true.
The fact that you had to think about it proves that I'm right.
That's a good point.
Zach, the Spurs
Um,
have 5 championships, and I don't think Texas knows they exist.
That's a good point.
All they're known is for Charles Barkley degrading the women down there.
Incredible.
That's literally it.
That's the best bit in sports media history. Is Charles Barkley going at the San Antonio people?
So funny. Why does Russ suck now?
He always has.
Which one?
Next.
He always
He
has.
always
And
has.
by the way, isn't Russ Westbrook pretty good now? Didn't he fix his jump shot? Isn't there room for
Okay.
just one good Russ or something?
but let's be honest,
No.
the memes are amazing. The memes are fire about Russ being with the Broncos.
Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I've seen him.
It's like
I'm in-
let
The
Russ
memes-
cook, and it's like a hot dog in like cereal.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
The Kraft
My-
single on top.
My favorite one is like Broncos be like, let's ride. And then it's like the ride, and it's Austin Powers where he's like with the little cart and he's like trying to reverse and he's like, like going back and forth. That was my favorite one. Let's ride.
My favorite one is how he just ripped off Tom Brady's win celebration video.
True. True.
Uh,
Okay, so Packers favored by 7 Sunday against the Jets at home. 45.5 over under. which is a little bit higher than I thought we would see, which is kind of good. Like the Jets have been playing okay. They haven't been playing great. They've been running the ball super well, which again is horrible news for the Packers because the Packers haven't been stopping the run very well. But if they can stop Breece Hall and Michael Carter and force Zach Wilson to throw it, like they got good wide receivers, but I think he's going to make enough mistakes where Rodgers is. I could see Zach Wilson just making like one too many mistakes, and that's what cost the Jets, right?
Yep, agreed. I think there's only two avenues to this game. I think that's one, and I think the Packers blow them out in this game. I mean, I'm predicting 35-7 Green Bay. This is a get right game. This is the Jets are have somewhat of a season going. Robert Saleh is starting to get a little cocky, talking shit about keeping receipts and everything. Like if you're actually a Super Bowl contender, if you're actually a real life playoff team, you win this game by 4 touchdowns or more.
And
I think 4 is a
loss
high.
back at home.
Yeah.
And then everybody that turned on the Packers this past game are back to celebrating and talking about how amazing they are.
Negative thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be negative. It's spooky season. All October, I'm negative.
He's gonna be drinking that piss brew.
Yeah, winning by 4 touchdowns is a little high. I feel like this game has a lot of the same vibes as the Green Bay Washington game from last year, where Green Bay won. They were up like 24-7 in the fourth. They won 24-10, but like it was much closer than the score indicated. It was kind of back and forth. Packers could never pull away. And with the way their offense is played in the second half, I have no reason to believe it would suddenly switch on. I mean, home and away, it does not matter. And I think the Jets are going to put up a little more of a fight. So I think this is going to be close. I think definitely bet the Jets side of the spread. There is a chance the Packers blow out, but I've seen nothing to lead me to believe that they will.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is fair. We've been going long enough. Let's just jump into the score prediction, I think. I'll go Packers win 28-20.
Yeah.
Luke, you sticking with your prediction still?
Yeah, I already said mine, 35-7. Little teaser, too, for my Survivor picks. Green Bay is going to be the lock of the week this week.
Yeah, that's a good one. Janet,
I'm going.
I say 28 also, but 14 and Packers up.
I say 24-20, Jets score late to make it close, but, I don't think it'll be a blowout. I hope it is. I would love for it to be a blowout and hear loud on Lambeau Field. I'm afraid I'm going to hear a lot of complaining and bitching and where did this come from? Who would have expected this? And I have to sit there and keep my mouth shut and act like I'm not going to go apeshit on them,
And the schedule coming up then, like I could just, to Luke's point, like obviously bouncing back from a loss, like in a big way, they've done that a bunch of times. They play Washington next week. Washington's going to have a long week after playing on Thursday, so they're going to have a lot of time to prepare. But if they lose, I mean, we could see Ron Rivera getting fired, which is really cool. I could see like 2 really big wins in a row. Everyone's like, the Packers have figured it out. They're so good. Like Super Bowl or bust. And then we go to Buffalo for looks like Sunday Night Football. And we're just going to get fucking spanked.
We're going to get ran. It's going to be like 42-10 at half.
Yeah.
Have Rodgers and Josh Allen ever played each other?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think when Josh Allen was a rookie back in 2019, I think it was a shutout for the Packers. It was when the Brewers made that crazy playoff push. That's the only reason I remember it.
All you had to bring up was the Brewers. I got it.
Really?
Shout out baseball.
Zach, there's not many.
It's just because I was at the Tigers game and I'm like, wait a second, the Packers are playing the Bills?
Yeah.
I think that was his rookie year.
There's not many bright spots as Brewers fans, so when some do, you do remember them.
Yeah, 4 years ago, it would have been 2018.
Yep.
I think that was the draft up from the game. Packers won 22-0. Shout out Mike McCarthy was the coach.
Take that shout out back.
I fucking hate him. He's
redacted.
Josh Allen 151. Completed less than half of his passes, 2 interceptions, only had 19 rushing yards. LaShawn McCoy and Chris Ivory were the running backs for the Bills. Charles Clay was the tight end with Kelvin Benjamin.
Charles
Oh.
Clay is another. Charles Clay is another
a-
guy that somehow
List some of those
ended up
wide
on my fantasy
receivers
team.
for us, Zach, please. Go to the
For-
defensive
for-
side as well.
For
I don't
anyone
like the
want
way
to
you
guess?
leaned back
Ooh.
when you said that.
So Rodgers, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 298 yards. Aaron Jones, 65 yards rushing on the day. Jamal Williams, 27. But Ty Montgomery, nice little surprise performance. 18 rushing yards, 56 receiving yards, 81 for Devontae, 80 for Geronimo Allison.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Lance Kendricks caught
Oof.
a 5-yard pass.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Wisconsin.
Defensive side. Let's see if anyone did anything good. Clinton Dix got an interception, as did Jair.
We don't
Sacks.
care about the Packers.
Kyler
Show us the Bills.
Fackrell, 3-sack day. What a
Remember-
performance.
Oh, well,
Remember Fackrell? Oh man.
I try not to.
Mike,
what?
yeah, very different Josh Allen. Very
You know,
different.
you know what's crazy though? Janet just said, "Remember Kyle Fackrell?" Like, remembering all these guys. This is only 4 years ago. I
I
mean,
know.
this is
Yeah.
just how bad Packers are at drafting.
Well, just listen to all the. This is just the Packers who totaled a half a sack or more. Kyler Fackrell, 3. Blake Martinez, 1. Reggie Gilbert, 1. Jermaine Whitehead, 1. And then Clay Matthews and Rick Perry both got a half. They're nowhere to be seen. Are there any of them alive? Other
You know what's
than-
even more sad about that, Luke? Have the Brewers not had just as much success in the time frame since I gave them the Packers? And they have a payroll of like $70 million.
You're right. You're right.
Like, if they're both going to lose first round, shit, I'd rather have the Brewers do it.
Hey, shout
At
out
least
the
they didn't
Bucks
get
though.
swept.
Yeah, shout out the Bucks. They'll carry Wisconsin.
Dude, if Giannis
They
gets
have
hurt,
to.
the city's going up in flames. I mean, he is literally all we have.
So I'm telling you, Wisconsin basketball, Marquette basketball, Green Bay, Milwaukee are all shit right now. So come on, Bucks. I'm sure if you're Packer fans, everyone listening, you're also other Wisconsin sports fans. So that's the state of Wisconsin sports, presented by Flurry Sports.
Boom. That's all we got. We'll be back next week again. If you want to watch live Wednesday, by the way, Mike predicted 24-10. If you want to join us live next Wednesday to give your score predictions and jump in the chat, talk with us live. We are live at around 8 p.m. Central Time on the Flurry Sports YouTube channel, as well as the Lombardi Sweep Facebook page, Flurry Sports Twitter, Flurry Sports Twitch. Lots of places to watch and interact. Go subscribe and follow. Do all that junk. Rate the podcast 5 stars on all of the podcast platforms. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Bye.
All right, Mike.